Hey guys, oh my gosh, this is going to be so amazing if this actually worked. Oh my gosh, wow, how did this work? I don't even know how I got it to work, and I don't even care. I'm just going to post this now, and oh my gosh, got it to work. Okay, doing a reading and sharing what? Okay, let's see. Publish now. Okay. I think it's working. Is it working? I think it's working. Okay, so if it's working and somebody's on there, will you just let me know that it is? I wolfed so many times today that you probably won't even come over here. But let me actually not do that. Start at 1:40. Okay. See, I don't have Rashay on here. Darn it. Rashay, is that you? I'm hiding over at the clubhouse right now. So first of all, the text message challenge is on. I turn this so I can actually sit down. And then Jeff can actually see that I'm still over here. That's a nice one. There we go. Okay. So there's two people here. Is one of you Rashay? Oh, my hair's orange. Yeah, gotta get that fixed soon. Rashay, anyone here? Is anyone here? Rashay. Rashay was the first one that signed up for Tier 7, and Tier 7. Hey, Rochelle. I wish there was one. Rashay was here. I saw the R, and I was like, yes, she's here. You know what? It's probably way too late for her. Darn it. Okay. Well, I was going to do a reading because I keep getting a reading, and I thought it was for maybe there's someone that goes by the name Lady Butterfly, and I have no idea who Lady Butterfly is, but I feel like I was getting a message for her, but I don't know her real name, so I couldn't message her. And because a lot of people go by like aliases on, what's it called? On Facebook. So first off, the text challenge is posted. It's on my website, discoverintuition.com. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of the page, you can join it. What I was just told by the guides is that not only are we going to do like an actual text challenge and see like if we can go without texting people, but we're actually going to make it like a kind of like a self-help type of cool little thing, because they're going to do attunements to the higher self. Like say you're sitting in the bathroom and you're blow drying your hair and you're like, oh, and like somebody thinks about you. And since you're not on the phone and you're not like doing a bunch of other things, like the second they think about you, it's going to hit you and you're going to think about them. And then if your phone's nearby, you're going to text them, and then you're going to end up getting sidetracked for like 15 minutes while you're supposed to be getting ready, and then you're going to end up being late or whatever. Or you end up stuck in a conversation you don't want to be in just because you thought about the person. You're like, oh, I should think, you know, I should see how they're doing. Others of us have like negative thinking where we're like, oh my God, I wonder if I'm thinking about them because something bad is going to happen to them. So then we text them, and you know what we do? We send them negative energy. So if we worry about people, we send them negative energy through the text message. Last night, Jeff and I were having like the most awesome day. We had date day. We went out. I gave him my healing at the office. We came home. He was like feeling all awesome. And he was like, thank you for my healing. I feel great. And then like something, I don't even remember how long it was. It was like 45 minutes later, he started like knitting at me. And I was like, are you serious, dude? Like, what's your problem? Like, why are you doing this right now? And he was like, I'm not. Like, he didn't even like see it. And I was like, who did you talk to? And like, who texted you or called you in like the last 45 minutes? You just went from like one person to another. And sure enough, sorry. It's okay, Siri. So anyways, he went from one person to a completely another person, like in 45 minutes. And I was like, whoa, what happened there? Like, seriously, like we were like in an argument all of a sudden. And I was just like, what the heck is going on? Hey, Mary. And so sure enough, I think he left. He went and did something. He came back and he goes, oh, no, I did. I left because I didn't want to be there. I was like, I'm leaving. So I left, and I went back. And when I got back, he goes, look, who texted me at, you know, it was like at a certain time, like right, like literally, but he didn't know the text came in until after I left, like 2 hours later. So people's text messages come in and they affect us. If you have your phone on, you have it in your field. So if somebody text messages you, that's why you always are told to take your phone and put it on airplane mode when you're in sessions, because people's energy comes through the fourth dimension through the electromagnetic waves of the cell phones. Sounds stupid. It sounds silly. It seems like, you know, if somebody's thinking about me and I don't have my cell phone on me, it's not going to affect me as much as if they text me and a text message goes through to my cell phone. And furthermore, it's not going to affect me as much as my cell phone is at the house and I'm not even near it. So it's going to be a lot more effective if it's sitting in my field or it's in my house and I'm in my house, so I'm in my house's field. That makes sense. So the text message challenge is going to be really good. Maybe I won't do Richay's reading tonight. I don't know. Mary, are you part of Tier 7? Let me see who my Tier 7 people are. I know Anna is, but I don't know if Anna's here. I should just set something up to do the readings tomorrow at a certain time, because I don't think anyone's here, and I want you guys to get your readings live. So the Tier 7 people are going to do in meditation, my videos, and can use the videos a week after, chop out the lesson, chop out the meditation, and put them on for Tier 7. You guys can take those, play them for a group of people, charge $20, whatever, discuss them afterwards. And we're not going to take any of the money or anything like that. The only thing you're paying is the $250 extra in addition to what everyone else pays on Patreon to get access to all of the material and stuff like that. But I'm going to be doing a lot of like daily coaching with you guys. I created a Discord account where there's a virtual clearing room where you can go in there, get your energy cleared. And then also I've been running like practice attunements on everybody that's going into like the Discord room and saying like, hey, do you want this? Hey, Tina. So like, Tina, are you a Tier 7? So no, you just switch to Tier 5, right? That they're going to get charged twice. So instead of like flipping out and feeling bad and trying to return them and trying to figure out what to do, but you know what? I charge $500 for a reading, so for a 30-minute reading, so might as well just give them a reading. So they're getting a reading for the extra $250 or extra money that they spent over and above last month's Patreon charges. So I know you'll be one soon. You'll be one soon, Tina. And also, since you're a Tier 5, you'll be allowed in to get a lot of the stuff that they're going to be getting. I'm giving them homework tonight. In fact, I created a whole thing, and I was trying to do this video for them to go into only tier 7, and I'm just having a lot of issues with the encoding software on my computer, and I need to figure it out. So I tried to do it from the clubhouse. We have our internet like hanging off the balcony over there, hoping that it would be strong enough so that I could just do it from here at the house instead of going over to the office. But what was I going to say? Yeah, tier 7, their homework before Monday is to start a blog or a vlog. They have to. No excuses. I don't want to hear it. If they haven't started a blog, which takes 2 minutes, then I don't even want them to be in the group. So the tier 7 people are going to be people that can be held accountable, that are willing to change, that are willing to listen, and that are willing to completely have an amazing life and not be like, oh, I don't want an amazing life. Oh, no. Like, I mean, yeah, some push me, pull me is okay. And that's me. I mean, if I didn't have my dad around me, if I didn't have Marla, if I didn't have Bill, if I didn't have Audrey, if I didn't have Sue, if I didn't have all these people kind of like going, go this way, go that way, like I'd be a lost case. I wouldn't even be at Hay House. I wouldn't be anywhere if I didn't properly set bossy people up around me, like my husband too. So you know your personality type, and the personality types that need coaching are people like me, people that need to be held accountable. I don't do coaching because I've never felt like I should have to pay to learn something like that I already would know how to do. But very recently I paid $25,000 to go get a coach, and it's been amazing. So that's why I'm starting the coaching program here, because even though I thought coaches were lame before, I think it's really, 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 really necessary. I mean, we need it in sports. Why shouldn't we need it in business? Why shouldn't we need it in making money? I mean, most of us that become healers and mediums start making all this money. Like this person I met recently, she charges all this money, does these readings that are very not deep at all. Just very shallow psychic readings, and making all this money and just all that and everything. And it's just like, that's not what I think I want my kids to grow up in the world with this just phony, not phony, it's not phony. It's just very surface level, very emotional level stuff. I want to have a world where our kids can turn the TV on and not see angry people killing each other, or news where the opinionated newscasters are giving their opinion instead of what really happened, or only telling one-sided news or whatever. So in this mission that I have, I'm starting Intuition Live TV, which we're going to have Inside Source, which will be my daily little thing. And we're building a news desk. I'm so excited. And we're going to do kind of like what's really going on in the world, or what's the energy around this, like say like this bombing or whatever. So the energy behind it is, I can see the person that did it was being held hostage by his dad, and his dad was being controlled by this, and the mom wasn't in the picture. So kind of like reading almost like the news events, so that people can see like, oh, that's a person that did that. And that person had trauma, and that trauma then caused them to go join a gang, or like, find other people to tell them what they needed to believe. The more we can uncover what it is that's causing people to feel as if they need to join these like cults or religions or things like that, or gangs or anything like that. It's, parents that aren't there for kids, but you see kids that don't have parents that like become like Academy Award winning, like award winning people. So you can't just say that it's because of the parents. I think it's because of the soul. But I think a lot of souls are lost right now. So hopefully, Intuition Live TV, we're going to be able to bring a lot of information to a lot of people. And let me see, is Renee here? No. The Lady Butterfly girl, she's not here either. I kept getting a reading for them, but well, while I have you guys here, tier 7, you guys are required, and I'm going to post it on Patreon that my computer died. Let me see. And I was going to do a meditation. Because it's frozen. So I was going to play this for my course. 444. And this. That's not the one.
How different it is. I left my hangout great.
Can you guys hear that? Yeah, it's going to be me doing the coaching, Mary, only for this first group. And then it's going to be other coaches that I train to be coaches. So I'm only doing the first group of 25 people, and then I'll no longer be coaching directly with you guys.
Okay, how is that?
And if I'm going to be doing I'll be doing like a 1% club. So once you've gone through with Janice or Isabel or whoever, and then you've taken like spiritual boot camp 1, 2, and 3, Reiki 1 and 2, you have your own practice, you're making money, you're doing your thing, then you'll apply to work with me, and it'll be really expensive, but I'll work with you 24/7, one-on-one. It's called a 1% club. So I'll work with you. It'll be like probably something like probably like $5,000 a month or something, but you'll be making a crap ton of money because you'll have all the tools and everything that you need in order to make $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $100,000 a month doing this. So it's, but I'm starting off with this. I'm starting off with my beta people in tier 7 to kind of create the curriculum, to create, I think, how much time needs to go into it and all that stuff. And then from there, next month or the month after, I'll probably bring somebody on to do it with me, like Isabel or, yeah, probably Isabel. And then maybe like 3 months more down the road, after me and Isabel have done it together, I'll hand it off to her. And then I'll go on with the people that we've probably just trained and really start like making you guys income and getting you guys out there and getting you on TV and, you know, all that stuff, if that's what you want, you know. So if you guys can make the investment in tier 7 right now, just do it. I mean, it's $250 extra. That's not anything. Like, by the way, Rashay cracked me up today. She ripped me a new one about stop offering class for free because those are just going to be the people that complain. And it's true. The people that ask for discounts are the ones that complain, are the ones that try to come free. And that's how it always happens. And then the people that pay are always very, very respectful. The ones that don't are the ones that aren't respectful and don't care about anybody else except for them. So then, but Rashay ripped me a new one, and it was funny because me and Marla sent her a picture, and I can't pull it up on here right now, but if I can pull it up, I will show it to you guys because it was like a, yeah, like we all have boundaries. We're all sticking up for ourselves. So here we go. Here is the thing.
Or feel anybody the very first time. Practice, practice, practice is what my dad used to always say when it came to soccer and softball and pitching and all the sports that I used to play. And that's the same thing with spiritual activities as well. You'd like to practice, 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 working with your mind,
practice,
with the subconscious, working with the energies that you have floating around within this body of yours that's like an entire universe. So hopefully at this point in the course, you're getting excited about traveling with your travel buddies. Hopefully you're getting excited about releasing the past and getting to know what's going to be happening in the future, or creating a whole new future that you'd never even thought of before. Oh, I just came back in. I was going to say a prayer. Okay, just ask God and the angels to come in.
I kept having psychic attacks.
The first time I met my guides, I was so... You were able to meet your guides. The first time I met my guides, I was so excited. Then every single day I expected to see them exactly the same way. And what it was kind of like for me was the guides were always around me. They were always kind of there. But I always say that they're kind of like those Chuck E. Cheese puppets that sing on stage. And as soon as they would start, the music would start going, the puppets would start moving. But then when the music would stop, the puppets would just stop. And it's kind of funny because over the years, and feeling like I have all these kind of unanimated puppets standing around me until they're ready to talk, I realize that that is literally how it is. And until we access that layer, or until we ask a question of that guide, they just kind of sit dormant. So that's why with so many teachers, they teach ask and it's given. If you don't ask, then you're not going to get it. So that's how it is with the spiritual world and with your teachers.
Sorry, guys. Hold on.
You need to ask. You need to ask to see them. You need to ask them what they look like. You need to ask
them
that they're there.
This was supposed to be for tier 7, guys, but I can't make it show for just you guys.
So that's how it is with the spiritual world and with your teacher.
Tier 7's going to get a lot of my my class stuff that's not out yet.
That is literally how it is.
There.
Our soul, prior to entering in all the different layers of, and until we access that layer, or until we ask a question of that guide, they just kind of sit dormant. So that's why with so many teachers, they teach ask and it's given. If you don't ask, then you're not going to get it. So that's how it is with the spiritual world and with your teachers, with your guides. You need to ask. You need to ask to see them. You need to ask them what they look like. You need to ask them to show proof that they're there. You need to ask, and you need to be open and willing to receive the way that they're going to show you. Not like, oh, you must do this at this time on this date, otherwise I don't believe that you're there. You can try it. You can definitely try it. I have students that have done that before, and they've actually gotten their proof. But, you know, I'd be a little bit more open than that. So with these guides, I'm just going to have Mary and stand there. So now, knowing that your guides are always with you, knowing that they're always there is a really good feeling. And knowing that you can, on command, basically ask them to do anything, clear anything, heal anything is even better. I know that when I started on my healing journey, and when I started to try to heal some fibroids that I had because I wanted to get pregnant, I started taking every healing course I could possibly take. At first, I was just a medium. So I liked talking to spirits. I liked giving messages. I was a really good psychic. So that's pretty much what I would focus on in my practice every single day. I would channel spirits. I would channel dead people, people from the other side, souls, guides. I say guides because they weren't really guides. It was pretty much a bunch of earthbound spirits. I would channel people's memories or their memories of their loved ones. They weren't even the real loved ones. And when I started my healing journey, I started doing what's called subconscious reprogramming. I took a few different modalities. And during that class, one of my best friends, Marla, and I, we were paired up together. You know, when you take a healing class, they pair you up. And one of my beliefs that I wanted to install in me was I am a clear channel, kind of like that. Think of life like that. As God becomes souls. Those souls watch this life, and when this life ends, the soul has to go and has to live that life. So it's kind of depressing. It's kind of depressing to have to go and create a whole new life. So what that soul does is watches the same life over and over and over again, but puts overlays and changes things about itself in that life so that it can watch it different, look at it different, and experience it as if it's never experienced it before. So imagine being able to kind of change your memory so that you've never seen the show, now you get to watch it, but now you're a guy instead of a girl. Or now you're deaf, or you're blind in one eye, or now you're watching it on a big screen, or now you're watching it on an iPad. All these different things, but you do overlays, things that block you from remembering that you were the one that created the show that you're living in. So when I had that belief removed from me, and I could feel myself move up out of the lower chakra system, I became like a whole new layer of clairvoyant. I went from seeing spirits running around, spirit animals, from seeing little orbs and fairies and things like that, to every single layer of our soul. I saw every single person as this kind of multi-layered being that looked like literally looked like a snow globe with another one and another one and another one and another one and another one all the way around it. And then what I would see was a little tiny version of them in there, but right here in them, here. And that's how I started seeing everybody after we did that class. And it was very overwhelming. was very overwhelming because I could see that some people were able to access their big self and other people were still trapped in their little self down here inside their multi-layered self. I could see that some spiritual teachers were teaching people how to ascend through the layers here and how to get out into the layers of them that are God out here, but not up here into their big self. You've heard terms like false ascension matrix or things like that. That's what they're talking about. We're ascending through our layers, but we're not actually ascending through our higher self. So the attunement that I'm going to do on you is an attunement that will attune you to this, the whole self. You will go from being inside the snow globe with 12 layers around you, where that can kind of move up and down the different layers of your higher self. You'll go from that to being here and having access to your whole self or your I am. It's called the creator self or diamond attunement. In my book, it's described as the creator self. In this class, I've been calling it the I am. I also call it the diamond self, so they're kind of used interchangeably. This aspect of yourself will change your life just by getting into this. Because imagine if you are this little tiny person in here, you're seeing life through here, and you've got all of these different layers around you trying to block you from remembering that you've lived this life before or that you created this life. If you can bring your awareness up into your big self, up into your whole self, you can just say, I want anything removed that has to do with having polio, or I want anything removed having to do with cancer. What happens? It's giving you a lot more power to do a lot of things in your life. So with that comes responsibility. With that responsibility, you have to figure out what it is that you want. So one of the exercises that I like to do is called the soul mirror. In the soul mirror, you actually go through each and every layer of yourself, which would be your human existence down here. And then there's also another exercise that I do in the soul mirror once you're attuned, where you go through the different layers of your higher self. So you can do some massive healing through the use of this soul mirror. The soul mirror exercise came to me about 5 years ago when I was sitting in my living room. And I was crying and whining that I wanted to meet my higher self, and everybody else in class was meeting their higher self, and I didn't get to meet my higher self, and woe is me. And in our house, we had mirrors up against the dining room, against the wall, and then we had mirrors behind us. And so I started meditating, and every time I'd start meditating, our fan in our house would turn on, which I thought was so cool at the time, but now I know it just means that probably some earthbound spirits were around, so it probably wasn't a good thing. But my cat would start howling, my dog would start growling, the fan would turn on, and I'd be like, wow, cool. But I'd start meditating, and I heard stand up and look 3 back. And so I stood up, and I looked in the mirror, and you know, there's 2 mirrors right here. You see like an endless amount of you over and over and over. I looked back, and I saw 1, 2, 3 back, and I saw me go. I just about fainted. I was like, oh my gosh, I just saw a mirrored image of me wave at me. So I did my meditation after that, kind of freaked out. And in that meditation, that me I had a vision that she swam through all of the mirrors and then came nose to nose with me and said, I am you and you are me. We are one, and we exist on all layers and all levels of existence so that we can experience life from a different perspective. At that time, I thought, oh, wow, I need to ascend so I can get into her or become her or something like that. That's not the whole idea behind ascension. Ascension is that we are already done. We've already ascended. We are God. We're just playing this game. We're just watching this life over and over and over and doing different things to forget that we are the one that created this life. Rather than trying to think, oh, now I'm at this level and now I'm at that level, just know that you're already done. There's a piece of you that has done everything, been everywhere, and pretty much has the answers to every single question you could ever possibly imagine right this very second. in this attunement that we're going to do next, I'm going to attune you to the I am self, so that on command, you can get into your heart, become your I am, and then after that, I'm going to lead you through an exercise through the different layers of your soul so that you can see what you are on each layer. It's actually extremely amazing. What's funny is when I first started with the soul mirror exercise, after I met my I am you and you
Yeah, this is important.
higher self, she said, every day when you meditate, look in the mirror. So for probably at least, 4 or 5 years, I would look in the mirror and I'd see about 1 million people, like all like right, maybe in a past. Look into that mirror. When you look into that mirror, that is what's called a mirror of awareness. That is what you think of yourself. That is what you at the very
talking about when people see scary stuff in their meditations and scary stuff in the mirrors, because we're surrounded in mirrors.
Or believe yourself to be. I have students that'll say, I don't like that soul mirror exercise. I had a green witch. I had the Snow White green witch in one of my mirrors. I think that this thing is wrong. And it's like, well, maybe in a past life, on the soul level, you believe yourself to be a witch right now because you got killed for being a witch or something in a past life. But it's easy to heal because once you're attuned to this diamond energy, to this I am self, the creator self, once you're attuned to this, just by command, you can clear the witch. You can clear the creepy looking dead version of yourself that I used to see. So what happened was the version of myself that I was seeing is dead, kind of like a skull, was really freaky looking. And I asked why, and they said, because you want yourself dead. And at that point in my life was a very hard time in my life. I'm wearing my jacket right now, but I wear jackets a lot, I wear sleeves a lot because I was cutting myself. I would look in the mirror, and like the real mirror, not the soul mirror. And I would just be like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And I would like pull at my face and slap my face and slap myself and like, you're not real, you're not real. And it was just like, I just get this feeling like I wasn't real. And in feeling like I wasn't real, I was like, there's no point in even being here. So what I was actually seeing was my mind's interpretation of like a suicidal person. So when I realized that, and my guides came in and said, you can heal that. You can send light to that reflection. You can send light to that image that you're seeing. I did it. I was like, oh my God, I can. So I sent light to that reflection, and slowly but surely, I stopped hurting myself. I stopped, this is back in 2010. So this is 8 years, about 8 years from this class. 2010, 2011, I stopped hurting myself. I stopped thinking those thoughts. I stopped pulling my hair so hard just to prove that I was alive. And the more and more people I talk to every day, especially kids, people get this feeling. We get this feeling like, am I even really here? I don't even know if I'm really here. I want to know, I want proof that I'm alive. And I can tell you one thing, yes, we're alive. We're alive on very many layers. And when we stop feeling real, it's because we're ungrounded. It's when we've gone into a higher aspect of self that knows all, that knows everything. And then when we land back into our physical body, it's like, oh, I'm back here again.
Anyway, okay, so I gotta go put the kids down. But that was to be for my tier 7 people, because all the people that are like bitching and complaining, like, man, I can't see. I'm not used to that, because I'm used to the only people being allowed to come to Wednesday night classes were my Reiki 2 and up, or at least Reiki, no, it was Reiki 2. I wouldn't let you into Wednesday night class until you'd done Reiki 1 and Reiki 2. And in Reiki 1, I'm like hardcore. We're going to like dive in. We're going to find your ego. We're going to find all the irritating aspects of you. We're going to dive in. We're going to send Reiki to them. We're going to dissolve them. We're going to get rid of them. You're going to admit that you're a horrible mother. You're going to admit that you're a horrible father. You're going to admit that you hate being a mom. You're going to admit hating being a wife. You're going to admit hating your husband. Like, you have to admit all of these things that this shadow ego aspect of yourself feels that you would never admit to feeling, but that's the piece that's keeping you back. at least I'm honest, and I'll be like, oh yeah, you know, and I'll honestly say how I feel about things. And that's not me. That's not me. That's like lower me. That's like the abused me. But that's the piece of me that feels unworthy of being a mother, feels unworthy of giving Madison the love that I need to give her. But if we can't look at ourselves in the mirror and we can't say, you know what, I really honestly, up until like about a year ago, I hated being a mom. And I've done everything I can in my power to take breath work, to release sexual abuse, to release everything in the world so I can hug that little girl and hug her and kiss her and not feel like I am doing something wrong. You know, so it's like the moms are wrong. The moms are being defensive. The moms are accusing the kids of being what they think they are. And then the kids get sick of it. And they're like, I'm tired of having a mother who's 10 years old. I'm out of here. And then they're only like teenagers, so they can't make good decisions. You need to be the grown-up, not them. And when they leave with some boy and take off or, you know, whatever, then that's kind of on you for not growing up. So it's like, we need to take our life's responsibility, especially when we're moms. And before Hay House, I was the intuitive mom. I was like, all right, this is it. All right, moms, we need to figure out how to love. We need to figure out how to show love. I mean, honestly, every time I was around Madison, not Parker, I told my mom, I'm like, I don't know, and sent it to him on Facebook. So, and I shared that with all my class, like that I just said, hey, I'm not going to get this guilt around anymore. You know, we were both little kids. Somebody did it to you. I forgive you, and I forgive whoever did it to them, and whoever did it to them, and whoever did it to them. It runs in families because it's family entities. They're entities that attach. And so if stuff happened to you when you were young, it's likely that your child will attract that into their life, whether it's through relative family or outside. So you want to make sure you clear that in you, because the second you clear it in you, it's gone in them. Isn't that awesome? That's the cool thing about sharing a field with your kid before they're 7. Everything you clear up right now clears up in them too. So I need to clear up the brat in me so that Madison will not be such a brat anymore. She thinks she's a princess tonight, and she was screaming for her heels when I left. I was like, heels? You don't even have heels. Are you joking me? So, and Tina, that's because you took the effort and you made the effort to not be your mother and to not be your father. And that's awesome. And I think that a lot of the times, you know, will be exactly opposite of the parents. My parents were amazing. I just happened to have a cousin who had been molested, who molested me and then molested my cousin. And she's still all messed up, like still living with her parents. She's like 30 something. And so, you know, it's like, and he's got all these daughters, and it's like this family secret. And like, it's just so, it's just crazy. It's just nasty. It's like, you know, everybody has to like just let go of all this stuff, you know, because it's like, why? Like I said the other day on camera, like if you didn't listen to my crazy message from the other day on Facebook, when I was like, don't have make-up sex with your family. And it was like, oh God, I kept like backpedaling, like, no, I mean, no incest. And anyways, it was funny. I kind of lost my mind, but it was the night after the boundaries class. And I realized that I'm not going to edit or audit or censor myself anymore, because I'm with a publishing company. I love my publishing company and I want to be with them forever and ever and ever. But what good am I if I'm going to sit here and be like, I'm not saying anything. So you guys will see me on video every day. You guys will see me like I used to be before I was with my publishing company, and you'll not be able to get rid of me, and I'll have a million videos. And they told me to take every video down, to not flood the market with me, and to take all my books off the market, and to take all of my products off the market. So I did for a year and a half. I took all of our books down, every book down, every video down, put them on Patreon so people would have to pay to get access to them, all of my free meditations down. And now I'm slowly but surely adding everything back to Patreon, because this stuff needs to be learned, and it's not being learned fast enough, just through my radio show and my book that, you know, got highly edited. So anyways, because I'm not a professional writer. But if you want to see some of my writing, I posted on Patreon. It was the one where there's a picture of me holding on to like the thing. That's my writing. That's how I write. And then there's a couple other chapters that were taken out and tossed and weren't used in the attunement book that I posted on Patreon. And some people like my writing. I like my writing. I write the way I talk. But that's not the type of writing that you use in a textbook, I guess, which is what most of the books are, which is amazing. I mean, that's why I read all the Hay House books that I read, because they told me how to do stuff. I'm not really necessarily concerned with hearing their story, but you know, it's not because I'm really into the person that I'm reading, but if I'm really into them, then I like to hear their story because I can relate to them. And I think that that's what most of my stories are, is a way for you guys to relate. Like, look, I'm complaining that I'm not seeing my guide, and then I finally see my guide and she swims up to me. How many people have had a guide swim up to them? It's because those are the lower realms. How many people have like not felt real? How many people have felt suicidal? How many people have not felt like they just needed to prove that they were alive by like pulling on themselves? I mean, I've got like my cut marks all over my arms, and it's just, we're all the same, guys, and nobody is worse than the other. Nobody has a dirtier secret than the other. Everybody's been there. Everyone's done that. And if you say you haven't, then you're lying. So it's time to just get honest with ourselves. And my meditations on Wednesdays are going to start getting shorter. They're going to be an hour and a half long. I'm going to have women's group on Monday. And the women's group on Monday will be like an hour and a half, and it'll be during the day. So I can, you know, have other people that it's too late at night for them on Wednesdays. And then I'm going to have like daily talks inside the Tier 7 thing. And then, and she's going to be making tons of money. And, you know, she's doing what she loves and she's making money doing it. She has major blocks against money. So we've worked on those. And as soon as she stopped coming to class and she started watching the kids on Wednesday making money doing it, she's no longer coming to class for free. So she is being paid for her time. Now things are like bumping for her. So it's awesome to see how just a little shift will change everything. So I have no problem making money. I'm good at that. Thing I'm good at. So that's one thing I can share with you guys. But one thing I'm not good at doing is feeling emotions. And I found every way to get around them and every way to get rid of the really nasty, gross, disgusting ones that aren't ours, so that we can actually spiritually ascend and go through life without having to feel every miserable thing we went through in the past, just to like ascend. Because there's just that piece of us that thinks that we did. And that's the piece of us that we're inside right now going, I can't get out. But the piece I attune you to is the piece that's already ascended. And that's the piece that can just be like, all right, this is what I want. So anyways, this was for the Tier 7s. I love you guys. Thank you for trusting me and trusting me to help you and guide you. And I will be seeing you guys pretty much all the time. If you guys haven't signed up for the text challenge, do it. Seriously. You can still call, you can still email, you can still use Voxer, you can still use the voice on text messaging. It's just no like text conversations, because that's what causes breakups, divorces, fights, people getting fired, because people hear it in their own voice. And if you're writing a text message to a bitch, she's going to hear your voice as a bitch, even though you're not. So that's just how it is. Anyway, I will see you guys later. Okay, bye. Let's see if I can turn this off.